Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, Bring Back Our Girls group marks 2,000 days of Chibok schoolgirls' abduction. Restates call for the rescue of the remaining 112 girls and others still in Boko Haram captivity, including Dapchi schoolgirl Leah Sharibu. Nigerian Air Force continues onslaught against Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast, destroys hideouts of members affiliated to ISWAP in Borno State. And federal government unveils plans to attract teachers to rural communities across the country as Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki gets Best Education-Friendly Governor Award by the Nigerian Union of Teachers. And death toll in the anti-government protests that swept through Iraq in the past 5 days soars to over 70.
On Business News tonight, the central bank formally receives documents for 40-acre Gomu Park from the federal government for the commencement of the 22 billion naira creative industry initiative.
On sports news tonight, Nigeria Football Federation announces that Tyrone Ebuehi replaces the injured Kenneth Omero on the Super Eagles squad.
It's 2,000 days already since 276 schoolgirls were abducted from their hostel at the government girls' secondary school, Chibok, Borno State. Today, members of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign group again opened up criticisms on government's inability to secure the release of the remaining 112 girls still in Boko Haram captivity in the last 5.5 years. The group held another sit-out in Abuja demanding the intervention of the federal government for their release.
It's been 5 years and 6 months since 227 girls were abducted in their school in Chibok, Borno State. Members of the Bring Back Our Girls group BBOG are marking 2,000 days since the abduction by the Boko Haram terrorist group. Civil society organizations, Nigerians from all walks of life, have continued to speak on the need for the safe return of the girls.
When will we stop?
To mark the 2,000 days anniversary, members of the Bring Back Our Girls group hold a special sit-out session with shoes bearing the names of the 112 girls that are still in captivity.
Leah Sharibu, Alice Ngada, Jummai Aboku.
A symbolic roll call is made to remind the government on the need to rescue the girls.
Deborah Abbas, Hamsatu Abubakar.
The group is not pleased that the girls are not yet back.
Over the past 2,000 days, our Chibok girls have been denied their fundamental rights to freedom for simply seeking an education on the path of growth and fulfillment. They have been forced to suffer unimaginable horrors by enemies of humanity. Their families and communities have also borne severe hardships within a war that continues to destroy lives and impede human progress. This nightmare continues to be a shame of a nation and an open sore of the world that threatens to become ingrained within the darkest parts of our collective history.
Father of one of the abducted girls, Yakubu Kabu, is worried about the sad development. He's in shock that 2,000 days after the abduction, his daughter is still in captivity.
We don't know what is happening to them, and we don't know what is there, since we are not seeing them. Maybe some they have died, some they are still alive. We don't know. So that's why we are appealing to the government of Nigeria to rescue those girls. Anything that has passed your capacity, nothing that you can do. Sometimes if you want to do Bible study, his place is vacant. Yes. So sometimes make us be sad.
It's over 5 years since the abduction of the girls, and the tears have not stopped flowing. Nigerians are hopeful that the girls would be reunited with their families if the government do all within its powers to secure the release of the girls.
The fight for Leah Sharibu. The fight for Sarah Samuel.
Those 5 years have come with harrowing experiences for patients and parents of the missing girls who are still hopeful that someday their daughters will return home. Our next report chronicles the activities that have trailed the kidnapping of the Chibok girls since 2014.
They went to school to get an education, but what they got that fateful night was an abduction. 2010. Boko Haram begins to target schools, hundreds of students killed in the following years. 14th of April 2014, 276 female students are kidnapped from Government Secondary School Chibok, Borno State. May 2014, then President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan restates his commitment to rescuing the Chibok girls.
It is traumatizing, it's quite painful. But let us reassure them that we'll get their daughters out.
5th May 2014. Then alleged Boko Haram leader Abubakar Chikau claims responsibility in a video that emerges. He says the Chibok girls are his slaves and he will sell them. 2014. The hashtag Bring Back Our Girls had begun in earnest by 2016. Retweeted 6.1 million times, the Bring Back Our Girls group till date has staged numerous protests in the FCT and elsewhere, calling for the girls' release. Numerous international celebrities, including Beyonce, Salma Hayek, Eva Longoria, Kim Kardashian, and more, showed public support for the Bring Back Our Girls movement, including then U.S. President and First Lady Barack Obama and Michelle. May 2015. The Nigerian military has reclaimed most of the territory from Boko Haram. Some women freed. No Chibok schoolgirl found. 17th May 2016. Amina Al-Nkeki, one of the girls, is found with her baby. The father is suspected Boko Haram militant Mohammed Hayatu.
Federal government can and will do everything possible to ensure that the rest of her life takes a completely different course.
The President, Muhammadu Buhari, maintains his determination to secure the release of the remaining girls. October 2016. 21 Chibok schoolgirls freed after negotiations between the Nigerian government and Boko Haram, brokered by the International Committee of the Red Cross and the Swiss government. 5th of November 2016. One other Chibok girl was discovered. January 2nd, 2017. Another Chibok girl, Rakia Abubakar, rescued in a similar circumstance at Meyanga. 6th of May, 2017. What is considered the greatest breakthrough so far was recorded with the return of 82 of the abducted girls. 4th of January, 2018. The Nigerian army again announces the rescue of yet another Chibok girl, Salome Pogu. 5th October, 2019. 112 girls are still missing.
In the meantime, former President Goodluck Jonathan has responded to the criticisms trailing his government's action to rescue the girls after they were kidnapped in 2014. He was reacting to comments made by a former British Prime Minister, David Cameron, in his book titled For the Record, where Mr. Cameron accused Mr. Jonathan's government of sleeping on the wheel while Boko Haram terrorists were abducting schoolgirls in Chibok community of Borno State. The former British Prime Minister also accused Dr. Jonathan of preventing British forces from engaging in rescue efforts, saying that he seemed to see the incident as cheap politics. But former President Jonathan said that the claims are quite sad. He insisted that none of the allegations was true, as he did not only write letters to the former UK Prime Minister, but sought the help of former American President Barack Obama and the former French President François Hollande, as well as the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in rescuing the Chibok girls. He reminded Mr. Cameron that in March 2012, when the same Boko Haram-linked terrorists abducted a British expatriate named Chris McManus, along with an Italian hostage, Franco Lamolinara, in Sokoto, he authorized a rescue effort by members of the British military special boat service supported by the Nigerian army to free the abducted men. The former president stated that the UK government did not offer any help to rescue the Chibok girls, stressing that he would not have rejected same if there was any. And joining us now via Skype from Berlin, Germany, is a co-convener of the Bring Back Our Girls group and former Minister of Education, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us on the News at 10. Today marks 2,000 days of the sad event in Chibok. And you have honestly been one of those in the forefront for the rescue of the girls. With many of the girls released, we still have some still in captivity in the hands of Boko Haram. How would you describe how it has all turned out to this point?
I would say that because there are, in fact, more families than the families of the 107 girls that have returned that are still waiting for their daughters, it hasn't turned out exactly the way our movement committed itself to ensuring that it turns out. We have 107 girls back. 106 of them are back in school and actually doing well. One decided to learn a skill. She had come home with a baby. That gives us a lot of joy. But we have 112 human beings, girls of families. And then when you add Leah Sharibu, that's 113 families that sent their daughters to school, and today they have no account of what has happened to their daughters. We owe them the responsibility of ensuring that they return. There's no closure for the parents, none whatsoever.
Do you really believe these remaining girls still stand a chance of being freed after so many years?
You know, the way that I have answered that question each time I have been asked in the last couple of days is that when we were advocating for Chibok girls, just even 2 weeks after, many people said to us, roll back your mats from the Unity Fountain, go home, these girls are gone. But we ignored them because we knew there was no counterfactual evidence on the basis of which that was being said. And 1 year came, people thought we were crazy. You know that it was not until 2 years after those girls were taken, 2 years and about a week, 2 weeks and 3 days thereabout, that the first girl turned up. And that for us was the light. We knew that we were right to not give up on the girls for the 2 years. Now let me say something. One of the parents of our Chibok girls said, those who are saying to me to move on, to forget all about it, have they been able to show me the grave of my daughter? To the extent that that has not happened, I'm going to keep holding on, that the government would do what is right by my daughter and bring her back to me. I mean, it's so easy when you're far removed from matters like this to be so rational in saying, oh, why don't you just shut the book? Well, let the government do that. Let the government tell us that there's a closure. I believe that when those parents hear from the government, which they never do, the government does not engage, does not keep any form of relationship with the parents of children that answer the call to go to school in an environment where girls hardly go to school.
Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, we must sincerely thank you on this very important occasion of 2,000 days since the girls were abducted from their hostel in Chibok. Many thanks indeed for talking to us. Co-convener of the Bring Back Our Girls group, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. In part two, after the break, it's World Teachers' Day and Nigerian Union of Teachers roll out their drums in celebration as the House of Representatives Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila promises support for the teaching profession. Stay with us.